Welcome to the Explainer. So, if you're a focused learner looking to radically optimize how you work, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're breaking down a completely paradigm-shifting approach to brain chemistry, drawn directly from some incredible insights by the channel Versatile. We're going to explore a technique that, well, it doesn't rely on brute force willpower, and it definitely doesn't involve forcing yourself to sit at a desk in total misery. Instead, we're going to look at how to actually work with your brain's biological chemistry to completely transform your relationship with hard work. Get ready, because we're about to literally rewrite the rules of motivation.
Now, I want you to really think about this seemingly impossible question. What if your brain craves studying the exact same way it craves scrolling your phone? Sounds completely absurd, right? No way that's possible. But here is the fascinating truth at the core of this explainer. Your brain actually doesn't know the difference between a textbook and social media. It doesn't categorize activities as, good for my future or wasting time. It only understands one single biological language, and that is dopamine. Okay, let's dive into this. To understand why studying feels so agonizing sometimes, we really have to look at the competition. Every single time you check Instagram, watch a YouTube short, or fire up a video game, your brain receives a massive, effortless dopamine spike. I mean, it's instant, it requires zero energy, and honestly, it feels fantastic. Conversely, when you try to sit down and study, your brain instantly compares that to those easy digital spikes. Studying releases far less dopamine, so your brain just starts screaming, "Hey, this is boring. Go back to the easy fun stuff." Your brain is biologically programmed to seek the highest dopamine activity with the absolute least amount of effort. So, let this reality really sink in for a second. You're not lazy, you're not broken, and you definitely don't lack discipline. If you struggle to focus, your brain is simply doing exactly what millions of years of evolution designed it to do. It's prioritizing high-reward, low-effort tasks. You're literally fighting a biological algorithm. But the beautiful thing about understanding this is that once you know exactly how that algorithm works, you can absolutely start to rewrite it.
Section 1. The Paradigm Shift. Redefining Dopamine. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it shatters the biggest myth most of us have about motivation. See, most people think dopamine is just the pleasure chemical. They think it's just the feeling of having fun. But actually, scratch that, it isn't. Dopamine is really about anticipation and reward prediction. It's the chemical drive that makes you want to do something because your brain predicts a reward is coming. And that anticipation engine, that is exactly what we're going to hack today.
Section 2. The dopamine loading method.
So the dopamine loading method works in 3 distinct, highly repeatable phases: deprivation, priming, and amplification. And listen, this isn't about some vague self-help advice. This is a mechanical, step-by-step process to manually adjust your brain's chemical baseline. Let's break down each phase right now.
It all starts with phase 1, which is deprivation. Before you even think about studying, you need to lower your dopamine baseline. Basically, this means spending 30 minutes doing absolutely nothing stimulating. No phone, no music, no talking, just sitting in silence, maybe staring out a window, or taking a slow walk. And I'll be completely honest with you, your brain is going to hate this. It will feel incredibly uncomfortable and quite frankly super boring. But you know what? That's exactly the point. You're intentionally creating a dopamine deficit. You're essentially starving the system so that your brain becomes genuinely hungry for any kind of stimulation at all.
Once your brain is properly starved for stimulation, you move right into phase 2, priming. Before you open a single book, you spend just 2 minutes. That's it, 2 minutes, with your eyes closed, visualizing yourself studying successfully. Picture yourself understanding those complex concepts, solving difficult problems, and feeling that deep, deep sense of satisfaction. Remember what we said earlier. Dopamine is about anticipation. So by visualizing the win, your brain actually starts releasing dopamine before you even begin, because you've just signaled that a huge reward is imminent. Then you start working, which brings us to phase 3, amplification. As you study, you're going to manually inject your own dopamine rewards. After 25 minutes of hard focus, you take a 2-minute break. But, and this is huge, not to scroll on your phone. You do something mildly enjoyable. Stretch, walk around, or just drink some water mindfully. You do just enough to tell your brain, hey, this studying thing, it actually comes with rewards. And crucially, after a successful study block, you need to give yourself a literal physical mini celebration. Like pump your fist or just say yes out loud. It might feel a little silly at first, for sure, but you're literally training your brain's neural pathways to associate the act of studying with the feeling of winning.
Section 3. Your daily dopamine routine.
And this brilliantly illustrates what a perfectly structured dopamine-optimized day looks like chronologically. It starts the exact second you wake up with a strict no-phone policy, and maybe even a cold shower to keep that dopamine nice and low. Then, you hit your 30-minute pre-study deprivation phase. After that, you dive straight into your first block of focus using the Pomodoro technique. By the time lunch rolls around, you're practicing mindful eating. And finally, in the evening, you allow yourself timed, highly controlled fun.
Let's look a bit closer at the critical rules that make this timeline actually work. Rule number 1, never ever touch your phone first thing in the morning. If you spike your dopamine right out of bed, literally everything else you do that day will feel like a massive chore by comparison. Rule 2, rely on the Pomodoro method. That's 25 minutes of focus followed by a 5-minute low dopamine break where you just breathe or stretch. Rule 3, when you take your lunch break, eat mindfully without looking at any screens. Really notice the taste and texture of your food. This keeps your dopamine receptors highly sensitive. And finally, keep this pattern consistent. You're teaching your brain a very specific sequence here. Low stimulation, followed by study, followed by feeling good.
Section 4, the secret sauce, the 5-day challenge. Now, there's a reason everyone doesn't just do this automatically, and I need to be brutally honest with you about this number right here. 3. The first 3 days of implementing this dopamine loading routine, they're going to be absolute hell. There is just no sugarcoating it. Your brain is going to violently resist this new structure because it's essentially going through withdrawal. It desperately wants its easy, instant digital dopamine back, and it's going to try to convince you to give up. You just have to survive these first 3 days. Because by day 4 or 5, something genuinely magical happens. Your dopamine baseline officially resets. And suddenly, studying starts to actually feel satisfying, not because the material you're studying got any easier or more interesting, but because your biological baseline has shifted. Out of nowhere, understanding a new concept provides a genuine, satisfying neurochemical rush. Solving a tough problem literally feels like winning a video game. You stop forcing yourself to work, and you actually start wanting to do it. So the crucial point is this, warning. You absolutely must guard your dopamine like the precious resource it is. This new neural pattern you've built, it's extremely fragile. A single 3-hour mindless social media binge can instantly reset all of your progress and spike your baseline right back up to where it was. You can totally still enjoy high dopamine activities in the evening, but you must stay in control and set strict time limits. You are the master of your reward system now.
Which leaves us with a challenge. Look, don't think about doing this for the rest of your life. Don't worry about being perfect right away. Just ask yourself, can you commit to just 5 days of dopamine loading? Just try the deprivation, the priming, the amplification, and that strict morning routine for just 5 days. Track how you feel. Notice the exact moment when sitting down with a book stops feeling like torture and starts feeling like a game you are actively winning.
Your brain is an incredibly adaptive machine. Right now, it might be addicted to all the wrong things. But with this structured approach, you can literally make it addicted to growth, to learning, and to becoming the exact person you actually want to be. The dopamine is already inside your head. You're just learning how to redirect it. Remember, you're not fighting your brain, you're reprogramming it. So the only question is, what will you program it to do next? Thanks so much for exploring this with me today, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.